yesterday was very intense. So all teams give it all, but because they have an idea in their mind what is the line. So we saw Delta make an incredible comeback when they were down that intense control map. Though we have something to talk about there, isn't it?
Let's talk about the two groups we had, Group A and Group B. Group A had teams from Kenya, Nigeria, and Ghana. Group B had teams from Morocco, South Africa, and Kenya. Now, Group B is rather obvious. Since sports made sure that they go at home, they're 2 in a row. Even a single round, even in S&D, I remember our commentators at the bottom right there, they were not happy about it. But Group 1, it's always that. There's a 3-way tie, 1 win for each, 1 loss for each, and a controversial round of control between Aura and Delta Esports of Kenya. What a time to be alive. What a final to expect. So how will you go about this 3-way tie?
Okay, so first of all, to explain this to you guys, the tie is usually, when there's a tie between teams, they usually calculate the number of rounds they've won. And Delta is in the lead with 16, Sierra 7, 15, and Aura 233 with 13, if we do not look at the control
round.
Exactly. So I'd like to move on to Mark to tell us about how exactly we're gonna do the rematch between us, Aura 233 and Delta from Kenya.
Yeah, so my our Kenyan audience, we would like to. We saw you guys yesterday when you were around, and you were very excited to see your team Delta win. But unfortunately, there was a rule break as Michael held annihilators at the same time, and for that reason, that last control map was the points were taken away. So we're going to have a rematch of that control map.
All right, yes. So the last control map, we're going to have a rematch. If I remember correctly, 2 of them had annihilators, and even though one was not used to a breach, and now there's a lot of bad blood between Aura 233 and Delta. No, Aura don't want them disqualified, but after having appealed, the process has been that they will have a rematch. And let's talk about the computations of this rematch of this control map. What will happen? If Delta wins 3-0, what happens?
If Delta wins, then they go straight to the semi-finals. However, if Aura wins this, then they will go straight to the semi-finals with CS7. However, Delta will go home. I mean, they're already home.
What if Delta win 3-2? A competition of 3-2 just like yesterday, what happens?
Yeah, so this is very tight because it also matters how many Aura lose, how many rounds they win. Because if they win 2 rounds, they'll be tied with Sierra 7, 15 rounds in total.
So we'll have a rematch between Aura and Sierra 7 if they win 2 rounds.
Yes, but if Aura lose and they win 1 round, they'll be eliminated as
S7.
As CR7,
Delta.
CR7 and Delta will go through.
Wow. As you can see, there's a lot of competitions happening right now. And over to our main man on the main stage who's going to give us all about this information and a recap of what happened yesterday. We have one man who was a great esports player and was amazing in his career, Trout, and Eugene Abu Dhabi, who, even though he tried to be an esports athlete, just could not make the K9 team. Over to you guys on stage.
Oh, we are back. Trout. The name is Eugene Abu Dhabi, and live in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. I already said my name.
So you can say it again if you want.
Yeah, the name is Eugene Abu Dhabi. It wasn't great the second time.
Yeah, not as good. I'm Trout, also known as the South African man who yaps. But we are here off the back of a fantastic day one, and I mean day one could not have gone closer to the wire. They touched on it a little bit on the desk up there, as you heard. We had 6 fantastic games. If you want to walk us through the general play of what happened yesterday,
yeah,
and then we'll touch on the second last game a little bit once you go through it.
God. Oof, I'm itching for this. A quick recap of what we went through yesterday, because it was an ordeal. I have to describe it as went through, because we went through something. The first game was Sierra 7 versus Aura 233, the Battle of West Africa. The Great West duked it out and came out. Aura 233 came out on top, 2-1 in that best of 3.
Considerably in both respawns. They struggled in the S&D, and their woes continued when they played S&D again.
Yes.
But their respawn so solid.
You know, it was surprising yesterday the amount of failures we saw. certain games to be really close, and then it was a complete blowout on hard point. Sierra 7 losing by a bit of a 100-point margin. It was unexpected, honestly. They came back in S&D. They brought it back, of course, but control didn't happen. Exactly. Secondly, we saw down south.
The battle of North v South, it is going to be, well, it was Noxious versus Sun Esports. And it went back to back, and of course, in typical COD-M fashion, we had a map forfeit as there was an illegal equipment used by Sun Esports. They went down quite significantly in the hardpoint. Then over to the S&D, we had Darox doing Darox thing. I think he went 14-2. He just completely took over. But unfortunately, his teammates were using a restricted item, so they had a map forfeit. And by conclusion, it was a 2-0 to the side of Noxious.
And you know that the disqualification from Sun.
Okay, let's be clear. Not a disqualification, a map forfeit.
Yeah, a map forfeit. Yeah, it was a okay, fine.
Yeah, map forfeit, which resulted in a loss. Disqualification, nothing serious, no serious rule infringements were had for an entire disqualification. I think we just got to make that clear.
Yeah, fair enough. So the Sun map forfeit, well, it didn't put them down, did it? Yeah. Even in their post-match interview, the tone, the body language from Darox as he gave the interview, he said, we're not going to think about it anymore. No, it wasn't Darox. It wasn't even Darox who gave out the interview. But the tone was that we're not going to think about this. It's past us. We have one more match to redeem ourselves. And that they did. That was the last match yesterday we saw. Next up we saw Sierra 7 versus Delta, which ended up with Delta winning against Sierra 7. How was that?
I mean, Delta versus Sierra 7, another bit of an upset there.
No.
Oh,
actually,
sorry?
It was the other way around.
Noxious versus
Sizzy
was the one that we had a good look at. And I mean, sorry, Sizzy, I hope your Uber trip home was nice and short because they got demolished in both Hardpoint and SD. I mean, I think they got 7-0'd and 47-250. I don't think it gets worse than that.
Yeah, the Sierra 7 versus Delta, actually, it was Sierra 7 who beat out Delta in that match.
That's right.
2-1. Aura versus Delta saw Delta beat out Aura. But now there's a bit of a complication, isn't there?
They did beat them, and we have to actually touch on this before we load in because the replay is coming up, and we'll get to that. We have a replay of the final game of the 5th game last night, which was a control on Raid, which is what you can see right now. We'll touch back to why we have a replay right after this cast.
And it is the replay. Again, we will touch back as to why there is a replay of this particular control match between Aura 233 and Delta of Kenya. Aura 233, of course, from Ghana, coming through this match being replayed from yesterday. Again, an explanation as to why that is happening will be offered later. But looking at the things as they stand right now, the life counts rather okay.
Going the way of Delta here, as they've actually got this ball rolling and they're trying to keep them away from A as best as possible. Hustle, close and personal, gets a kill, but wave after wave, that 4-life deficit maintaining strong for the side of Delta. And we spoke about the fact that Aura might come into this replay looking for blood, but if we're being honest here, it's quite the opposite. I know that they're about to lose A, that being the side of Delta, but they have done enough damage as they've created themselves a bit of a cushion in terms of life count going over towards B.
And right now, 19 on 13 lives, still a life advantage in the side of Delta. The responsibility of the uptake for Aura 233. Now the B point is where they need to focus their efforts. Will they send the bodies to the minimaps? Show they're trying, and try as they may, access repeatedly being denied. Michael waiting by the pillars there. That little van, the minivan there, bring a round of roses, he tries to spray and pray on that automaton. That Type 19 goes prone for a second. Can he get the shot off? He does, but not before getting dropped
by Ruin. And then Ruin and Games Bay, these are the two securing the point. Now huge 1-on-1 to win their first tick now found at B, which was a fantastic start for the side of Delta. Has sort of waned a bit as they need to find a bit more control. 7v7, that life count has completely diminished, whereas even as it gets, a minute to work with, and you can see the side of Aura on the point and are getting kills.
And right now, Aura quickly locking up the point and getting the kills. It's 5-on-5, 5v4. The commentators curse as the count keeps coming. 4v4.
And you get on the point though.
The hill.
It's all good and well. You get the kills, but no one's on the point. 2v4.
Stop the clock. Stop the... Oh!
No need to stop the clock, as it's going to be Aura 233 that draw first blood in this replay, and it came down to a 4 versus 2, but it doesn't matter. Enough was done. They got the kills, but I actually don't think they finished the ticks.
It's as tense as it was yesterday. It's literally picking up where we left off yesterday.
Oh, well, if it's anything like it was yesterday, we're going to see 2 rounds going the way of Aura, and then a comeback from Delta. But having said that, we are calling it a little bit early, but as you can see, good start again for the side of Delta, but not ideal, not as good as it was before, as they send a lot of bodies over towards B, and they find that first tick pretty much uncontested. But Hustle, round the back end, does have that Sparrow to work with if he needs it. But Ruin is there to find 2 of his own, so right now the spawn trap might be devious to deal with. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen as Hustle gets taken down.
Right now, the commitment of the blue bodies trying to send them all their efforts to B. Michael and the Annihilator now. Cleaning house takes 1. Can he get the second? Take the second. Claims 3. Nope, not happening. Not this time. Access denied. Hustle says no.
Well, fantastic start for this side of Aura here, as they're actually trying to find their momentum and keep it between attack and defense, as they have gotten a serious number of kills. I know it is only 1 life between the 2 teams, but they have denied access to that point so well that only 1 tick has been found by Delta, and that is going to come back to bite them unless they get something going. But we spoke about the splitting of resources earlier, and this is where it's going to become so crucial. As you can see, 2 players over towards A. Money, counting his money there from Storm. He's going to be striking lightning into the spawn here. They sent players on the point, but they're looking for kills. That is a bit of an interesting call for me.
Right now, 17 on 17 is the life count. Delta do need to claim a point. Stop the clock. 20 seconds to do so. They have. They've gone straight to the A point. They've committed. Can they hold? At least stop the clock. Do something. Quarter way taken.
Well, now a bit of utility usage coming out, and streaks as Babushka and Ruin go back to back, clearing that point for the time being. 21 seconds. We have realistically 1 more push at either side here, but we have Ruin finding another double, looking for the triple, as everyone from the side of Delta simply cut down before they can get anything going. 10 seconds, and Ruin just having fun in the spawn. No one close by. Looking like 5 seconds might be all it is. There is between 2 rounds going up the way of Delta, and I think they have done enough. And again, it is going to be Aura drawing blood, taking the first 2 rounds of control.
Not the result, as you can see it, not the result Delta were hoping for at all. At all. At all. And for those asking, yes, this is indeed a replay. And by replay, no, not repeat footage from yesterday. The map, the control mode is actually being replayed. We'll explain why in a bit.
Well, slowly and surely we have to get them back into this game. That being Kenya, as I'm pretty sure everyone here in the crowd is rooting for them. But if we're being honest and if we are betting men, this is not looking too good for them. As the side, cast is cursed, as the side of Aura really here to fry. But having said that, Maheso finds a massive 2-piece, slowing down that push over towards A little bit longer.
And right now, 28 on 25, the life count, the responsibility of the uptake of the points so far falling for Aura. They have not committed to any particular one. I think they're going straight for the kills. Well, they're going straight for the kills.
They might be going for the kills, but they have to commit to a point at some point, as they are down lives and time. 45 seconds, they freeze that clock, sending all of their players on to A, and you can see Storm tagging up everything, firing warning shots through the smoke, unable to find a kill though, waiting for his teammates to get on close by. But it's going to be Twix who finds a double, clearing the point for now, decapping that second. But you can see during the chaos, it was the side of Aura that sent players over towards B.
19 on 17 is where we stand. 18 and 17, 16 on 17. Suddenly the life count, trading coming through, trades coming through instantly. 15 on 15 is straight up gunfights, but the clock needs to be stopped by Aura. They still have an objective to meet, but unless they can finish off the Delta squad fast enough.
Well, you can see now, fantastic in-game decision coming up the side of Delta, as they have realized sending players towards B would be a bit of a fart in the wind, as they cannot get any more lives there or submit any more lives there. But having said that, they have to hold down and play some perfect control. It's 13v13, a minute and 30 to work with, and they only have to defend 2 points. But it's going to start off with Maheso looking for 2. Michael finding a third. First wave. Now pushed back to the spawn for the side of Aura.
Maheso holding, fragging by the window there. On the other side, we see Sunflower. Shredded long distance by Maheso yet again. This man holding single-handedly at the A point. Defense, the blue wall by Delta. Working overline, over time. He is shredding on that Type 19. holding back a full squad. Take one, takes two. This is Miheso.
Counting coins and counting kills around the money room here, taking as much control as he can in the game mode. No pun intended. Get up close and personal. Miheso steals the crown from Michael as he appears to be the player to make the impact. And man, oh man, 2v10. I don't want to be a man to say history is going to repeat itself, but this is how the ball gets rolling.
And right now, this is Ruin trying to sneak into the A point, stop the clock on their end, at least meet the objective, and try and finish this off. They do not want to take longer, but it's done. Finally, the Kenyans from Delta register their presence on control.
Not again. I beg, not again. It's happening. It's the script. It's too strong. It was written too well, everyone. It cannot be deviated upon as the side of Delta back on attack, and they have to try and get back into this game one round at a time, and it's going to be Storm getting that ball rolling. First blood now drawn for the side of Delta.
And right now, this is Michael. Michael trying to hold off, takes one, but dropped by Sunflower.
Well, 3 will come off the back of a double hunter-killer there from Ruin as he stops that push a little bit further. 1 life between the two, 1 tick found at B, but Storm pushing up in the mid-map to see if he can find a few more of these kills, but he has a huge one to win. Miheso actually picks up the pieces. On to B we go. Life count now advantage for the side of Delta, but don't sleep on anyone and get to see kills going left, right, and center. Now, a lot of you being used by the side of Delta here as they are throwing everything, and in this case, there is a kitchen sink to be thrown at B.
Right now, Twix trying to stop the clock at the B point. The body is still not committing to B. I see a body there on the minimap headed for A. Bit of confusion.
Not confusion, I think that's the play.
No. Yeah, it is the play. Divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer, you know, make a noise somewhere, and the good old bait and switch and points coming through here as on to A we go. A bit of a slow cap coming through. They are down lives and they have 45 seconds to work with. They have to fend off this first retake, and it's going to be Michael and Ruin who go for a quick trade. Back to back, but it's going to be Twix finding another, but Babushka and Hustle clearing the point. Now, 2016, things are not looking good for Delta as they have lost their footing slightly, and they need to make a play to a point, and they need to do it right now.
They commit to the B point once more, half taken. This is Michael watching the A hill. Miheso in the lead. Will he get that kill off? No, he doesn't. Miheso falls to Babushka. Babushka drops Michael as well.
Looks like the kills are working out for the side of Aura. These guys are not too worried. Streak now being committed by Miheso, but B secured. Looking like a rinse and repeat. Down 4 lives, excuse me, and just over a minute to work with. We get to see the Annihilator coming out. Storm finding another. Games Bay though. Huge one to win, but he gets taken down. Michael finding crucial kills once more. Into the spawn we go. Looking for a few more kills. Not quite looking for the Cape Town special potentially, but he gets cut down by Sunflower.
The life count crucial in this very moment. This could be it for Delta. This could be it for Delta if they keep losing the lives at this point. 8 on 11 is where we stand. It's going to boil down straight up to the gunfight. 1 minute to meet the objective. I do not see that happening. Realistically, then that's ruin. Literally ruining any chances of a comeback from Delta. But the life count still there.
And now it's all even. 2 will fall on A, and that has opened up a bit of a door here for them to push on forward. Storm finds another. Looking for a kill. It's going to be Miheso. He tags him up, but doesn't finish the kill. He's waiting for his teammates to pick up the pieces where they dropped. It's going to be another major assist for Michael. And into the point we go. 3v5. It's looking like it's going to happen, but it's a 2v4. You cannot count the side of Aura out whatsoever. It's looking like we're going to the player. Stay on the game, damn it. We need to see what's happening. And 1v4 as it's now Babushka left, and he has to be able to get the kills here, and it's going to be Delta answering back 2-2 and no rule infringements.
Are you kidding me? We're back where we I thought we finished. How do you string along this relationship so far from yesterday? We're doing this again.
But they're on attack. They're on attack, and I want to talk something about points. If they win now, that means we're going to have another replay of a West African derby. But onto the point we go. Storm finding one with the help of his teammates, but Rune doing everything he can to keep the dream alive as he finds a couple of kills, but still being collected as we speak. Michael sending a bit of support from the mid-map, trying to see if he can find a few more of these kills as the second tick about to come up through.
Right now, Michael trying to hold off the distance. He has a bit of support from Twix over there, who drops Babushka. Right now, the life count 25 on 22.
Purifier committed though.
Yep. Oh, now the life count dropping significantly. It's almost even. 22 on 22. There we go.
Wow, massive two-piece. Thank you very much, Explosive Car, as the life count now again extended to absolutely zero. As you can see, Gamesplay trying to keep them as far back as possible from the point. Here comes Twix. On the heading we go. It's looking like Pixel Battles will be the one to come out on top. Trades just continue to work out for Aura. They are certainly here to make a point. They do not want history to repeat itself as they fend off another set of pushes onto that B site.
Right now, Delta cannot push the body. I don't think they're willing to risk going for the B side.
3 down on B.
What?
It's just one player. That's going to be Sunflower. We see Mahesha with that claw pop, but they have to find a bit more map control. Although they're finding the kills, they have yet to secure at least another tick here. 30 seconds, 13v14. He has to push on to the point.
They have to commit. Stop the clock. Stop the clock. 30 seconds. At least claim the point.
Oh my goodness, War Machine now committed by Storm, and that's probably the difference maker, as he had an Annihilator last round, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be Sunflower answering back with a double of his own. 9v11, 2 ticks found, and the kills keep on working out, but that War Machine might just be the final dagger here. You can see Babushka sneaky as a snake, pushing his way on up. It's looking like it might be B secured here. Indeed, B will be secured. Actually, no, it has been cleared. 26 seconds, 8v7, but Ruin with a massive double. 2 ticks left, but the kills have to be perfect. 6v6, it's coming down to the wire.
The trades coming in instantly, no time to breathe. 6 on 5. This is Mieso. Slide cancel.
Razor finding another 6v4. Mieso!
Oh no!
But the trade is there. 5v4. The kills have to be perfect. We see the Annihilator popped again. 5v3. But Ruin might be ruining dreams here. 3v3.
Oh my God!
Down to a 1v1. But right now the kills are coming in. 3v2. 3v1. 3v1. Oh my goodness. Sunflower. Oh my God! Kenya!
Oh my God! Delta! Oh my God! Oh my God! My God! Yo! My God! Oh my God! We have to hand over to Ribia for that post-match interview. We're trying to
will be a bit of an inspiration for us. Let's see it happen.
Right now, handing over to Ribia for those post-match interviews. Over to you, John Ribia. But either way,
oh my goodness.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
No bias, but the replay speaks true. It was as fair as it gets. There weren't any rule infringements. And they repeated it to the T. It came down to a 1v1 in the end, and it was the boys in blue that take it home. So Kenya, you still have a team in the race.
I don't believe it. So far, we can only confirm Sizzy Esports have fallen by the wayside. Early Uber home. But Delta, they will not go down without a fight. They will not go quietly into the night.
Not even a little bit.
They will survive.
They battle inch by inch. It is an absolute grinder of a match. And I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like that control match was actually better than last night's.
That beats out last night. I called last night the best round of control I've ever seen. That was the best round of control I've ever seen.
That was it. You actually don't get better. And I said to you, it's going to be history repeating itself. Not even I could write a script that well, because I actually had counted Delta out from the moment that first round went the way of Aura. But, you know...
No, look at chat. Even all of chat is bowing down before that performance from Delta. The Kenyan flag, love for Delta from all nations, not just Kenyans. Everyone approving of that gameplay, that performance.
I mean, you can't fault it.
No,
you can't fault
can't.
it.
Literally.
We're having a bit of audio issues, if you're wondering, with the mic that Mr. John has in his hand. So as soon as we get that sorted, we'll be sending it up to there. But again, man, points to talk about. You can never count out Delta. Down 2 rounds, on attack, and they bring it back. Anyways, enough yapping from myself. I need to rest my voice. We're going back to the man who's got a hairline that's pretty shoddy.
Jean Ribier, over to you. Right now, still waiting on Ribier to get back. Still trying to sort that. There's too much excitement in the air. We can understand. Everyone is flustered right now. Give us a moment. We'll get that interview, that post-match interview. But we just need to come back down off that high of what we just saw. With what was at stake, literally.
I think it came down to, look, let's do round for round.
Yeah,
okay. First round, you could see Aura feeling confident, getting their kills. They had control, managed to spread out along the map a little bit further. But before we carry on with the breakdown by round, we're going to have a quick look at the stats to see who was the actual backpack of the team.
Look at the stats there, by the
Rune
numbers.
had 51. Somebody help that man. Somebody get him some help. He did everything he could.
He needs a chiropractor.
Oh, I'm telling you.
He needs a chiropractor.
51 for the L. That's actually a violation.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness. By the numbers, on the other side for Delta, who have actually taken the win in this control, it's 33 kills from Michael, 28 for Miheso, who held that single round by Miheso, where he held it by the window.
And he got that triple. I think that was the difference maker. But speaking about at the breakdown in terms of score, you could see which team was playing better together as opposed to relying on one player. And I think that will be the difference maker. That's a proven fact, right? You get 51 kills, your team still loses. That means there's a problem elsewhere. It's not the gun skill. There's something to look back at too. But I just want to let everyone know, due to that win in 3-2 fashion, it means it's going to be another replay. A West Africa derby is coming again because the scores have now lined up to be even once more. The current standings in terms of rounds is 19 to the side of Delta and 15 and 15 to that of S7 and Aura. So we have to have another best of 3 to break the tie.
I think we have to take an individual look at this team, at this roster that just pulled off this stellar comeback. This led charged by Michael, leading the charge. But today, Miheso played his part in rallying the troops.
It's always the people that put in the work behind the scenes. It's always the flashy players that get all the love. But if you have somebody that's doing the dirty work, holding the point when he needs to, making the plays, it's worth its weight in gold. So Miheso, I tip my hat to you as you made one singular play that pretty much broke the map wide open.
And I think we need to address what caused this replay in the first place.
Okay, right. So everyone who is wondering why we had the replay in the first place, it is as follows. It was an exact replica of the match that you just saw going into it towards the 5th game yesterday. It was a 3-2 reverse sweep for Delta, but in the last round, Storm changed his loadout, and he changed to the Locust, which had the Annihilator on that loadout. He then proceeded to not pop the Annihilator. That's very important. He didn't pop the Annihilator, so he didn't gain any competitive advantage.
And right now, where we stand, where do we go from here? So Delta has won the contested control match. We have an actual tie. Where do we go from here?
Well, we're going to have another replay, like we said, but I actually got cut off. We're going to have a quick interview with Michael. He's coming down to have a chat with us, but I think it's very important to note that there was a rule infringement that each operator has to have a unique specialist ability. However, it is not clear as to whether or not it should be popped, and there is also a massive stipulation in the rules that carry first has discretion and the final say. And because it was technically a disadvantage for the side of Delta, as they didn't pop the streak, so they were down a specialist ability. So that was why there was the call to do a map replay as opposed to a map forfeit. And proving once again that Delta is here to make a statement, they played once more and did exactly what they did last night, if not.
Let's take a look at the teams now we have confirmed. We have these teams left. These are the teams we have left. Look at this. We started off with 6. Aura 233 from Ghana. Sizzy Esports from Kenya. Delta Esports from Kenya. NXG Noxious Gaming from South Africa. Sierra 7 from Nigeria. And Sun Esports from Morocco. And right now, falling by the wayside, a confirmed X falls to our first victims. Early
Sizzy.
cab, Sizzy.
You know, and I was speaking about this a bit earlier. I'm glad their Uber fee wasn't very high, as it was just across the street, because they're from Kenya. Unfortunately, they were the first ones knocked out. But I know we said that we have a set idea of who's gotten through to the semis. We actually don't. As I was explaining in the round count, in terms of the stats that we're at, it's 19 to Delta, 15 to Aura, and 15 to Sierra 7. So we have to have an additional tiebreaker between Sierra 7 and Aura. And we saw that as the first game on the stage yesterday, and it was Aura that came out on top. But I think the roles have been reversed a little bit here. Maybe the mental blow might be extremely high, if we're being honest, having gone down 2 games of control in a row to Delta.
And right now, with the teams we have confirmed, your Carry First Africa Cup Final Championship Sunday officially kicks off with the best opening for a second day of gaming I have ever seen. The repeat of the Battle of the West has to happen.
I mean, I think this is a bit of a history statement, or making history. I think that's better English. Making history here, as we have 2 replays back to back, and we thought everything was set in stone. And I think I dubbed that Group A was the pool of death, and man, oh man, are they showing it. Group B, nice, short and sweet, sorted out. We know who's going through, and we know who went home. And now we're sitting here with our hands in our hair, pretty much pulling out clumps at what we have to go through and all the hoops we have to jump through to make sure that we have an even playing field for these teams to absolutely prove their macho.
Right now, what's the scenario that sees what's the out end game if this Battle of West Africa that's on replay again? What's the scenario if Sierra 7 take the win in that series?
Bye-bye Ghana.
You're joking.
Nope.
So if
bye-bye Ghana.
If Aura 233 take the win,
bye-bye Sierra 7.
Wow.
Another tiebreaker. I can see Michael off of the distance here. We don't actually have a mic for him. If we could have a mic to give him so that the stream can hear him before we do this interview.
We would love a mic to get to talk to Michael. Desperately get any microphone to talk to Michael here. But until then, before we get to do that, right now, the reality from how we ended things yesterday, there was the chance that both, by the time we were getting to around 7 p.m. Kenyan time, East African time, there was a chance both Kenyan teams were out the door.
Completely eliminated. We'd counted them out when they were down 2-0 in the control.
We wake up today, it's 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m., and there's a chance we're losing one of the West African teams instead.
Yeah, and we're back in the same boat because it was a literal repeat. And I don't want to be that guy, but it does look to me that Aura are fantastic choke artists. That's tough, eh? 2-0 up twice in a row. Yes. There's something that needs to change there. They need to go back and look at their gameplay, see exactly what they can tweak to figure out what went wrong.
I want to speak to the mentality of that Delta team right now. The mentality of where they had to be coming in today, knowing of how the controversy of what happened yesterday, the final chance to redeem themselves. Something was in the air this morning. It was vicious, it was personal, it was virile. I mean, where do you have to be as a player on Delta for that performance?
I think when you backed up to a corner that badly, there's nothing else you could do except your best, right? You have to put it all on the line. It has to come down to 1 or 2 insane plays, and in that case, it was when they decided to split and go sort of divide and conquer where they went to B, and they realized they weren't winning, but that opened up A, and they got 2 ticks there and then sent it back, sort of like ping-ponging between the two, and that's good in-game decision-making. And then, of course, individual hero plays like Maheso, who finds the 3Ds, and that opens the door even wider to get another cap coming through.
Right
so
now,
when you put, this is actually the perfect quote for it, pressure makes diamonds.
Right now, just before we hand over to Ribby and the hosting team on our virtual set there, just taking a look at the love coming in from the 300 people so far who came through. There were more, over 400 on the stream. I'm seeing one here, Tormented says, Aura is in a tough spot here.
I think that's an understatement.
That's an understatement, Tormented. I see they couldn't handle an L, so they had to cry for the D. Oh, man.
Okay, no, that's
very, very harsh there.
But look here, I understand the mentality. At this level, you're going to look for every advantage you can get, so there's actually no shade to them at all. I would have done the exact same thing.
And right now, we're going to hand over to the desk, and with our amazing host there, Ribia, Kamsa, take over.
Groundhog Day. Yet again, what happened yesterday has happened today. Down 2-0, Michael and the team rally back, and Delta managed to clutch a control round to make sure that they manage to qualify for the semi-finals. This is the Carry First African Cup, a prize pool of $15,000 on the line. And here with me, we have the main man, the captain who clutched it, and Shamsi himself. Michael, how are you feeling?
To be honest, I'm feeling really nervous at the same time, but I'm actually very happy because, you know, yesterday after winning the control in the same manner and way, like losing 0-2 in the first 2 games, but because of my fault, since I didn't jump in the point, so I actually made a mental note that I'm going to play objective for the first time in my life. Like, I don't want to have kills, but I don't actually want to have...
This is your first time playing objective and you played like that?
I mean, the stream can agree on that. This is the first time I've been playing objective in front of everybody. Yeah.
All right, I can see the stench of still that people can't see from home, but his body is still shaking, and it's been about 30 minutes after the match. Tell us about the experience. You're in the group of death. You're playing against 2 of the heavy favorites to win the tournament, and so far you're still in it. How do you feel about your chances?
To be honest, when we got the whole bracket out and we were playing one of the, actually both of the strongest teams in the tournament, I just made a mental note that whatever happens down here, no matter what happens, I think so we just have to have the mental fortitude and go directly and try and win at least like search and destroy or control. And I think so my teammates, they're awesome. They're just awesome, to be honest. I feel like with better devices, they would actually perform much more better than what they're playing right now. But to be honest, I am happy overall. So the progress we have reached so far, it's unbelievable.
I have a question for you. I'm starting to think that you guys like doing comebacks. I mean, the same thing happened yesterday. You guys lost to, you started from 0, went all the way from 3 to 3. I think you guys love doing comebacks. I think you guys like the thrill of having to fight back and take that win. I mean, tell me otherwise. I had to throw my book away. I was like, I'm watching this match. Oh my God, that was crazy.
To be honest, whenever we lose a round, I always like think about my manager, Delta's manager, Sway, and he just tells me all the time that, you know what, Michael, if you don't play good and because of you we lose, I'm just gonna like, you know, like take you hostage or something like that. So just friendly banter. And to be honest, like Sway is the amazing manager. I think so he's put a lot for us. So I can't let that go unrewarded. So I would like looking at my teammates and stuff like that after what they've been through and like how far they've come. I think so as a captain and as an IGL, I think so I had to do my best out of coming like from retirement. So yeah.
Team captain of Delta Esports, once ranked number 3 in COD Mobile. What a performance by him, what a performance by the team, and also shout out to Aura223 for a good performance. We have some more amazing Call of Duty action coming up. A rematch between Aura233 and Sierra 7, Ghana versus Nigeria, the eternal West African derby, coming right up after a short break.
So